Hello and welcome to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. Welcome to the Profit Break. If you're joining us for the first time, we're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you'll be well on your way to improving yourself and your profitability. On today's show, we're going to talk with Sarah Helton from Michael Best Strategies. As business owners and operators, we should be aware how local, state, and national policy issues can impact our businesses. But we tend to get caught up in the daily operations, leading to missed opportunities to raise opposition to policies, which may impact our businesses negatively. Sarah is here today to share some tips on how to be more proactive in your local and state governments to help you put the brakes on these policies. Hey, Sarah, thanks for joining us today.
Gerald, hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So we'll jump right in because I know we got a lot to cover and a short time to do it. So when we talk about government policies, whether at the federal, state, or local levels, can these really impact the bowling industry and our individual businesses?
Yes, absolutely, Gerald. In fact, some proprietors have even shared that's the greatest threat or opportunity to their business is a federal, state, or local policy. Some of the policies that we see across the board that really impact proprietors include tax, employment or workforce issues, funding issues, as well as two gaming policies.
So, yeah, those are definitely, impacts any small business, but definitely in our industry, in our space for bowling proprietors. So when it comes to the proprietors, how can they make a difference on these government policies and the potential impacts on their business and the overall industry?
So proprietors can make a difference by engaging with their elected officials, leaning in and being proactive, because it matters that elected officials understand how a proprietor is impacted, as well as to how is the broader industry. Proprietors can choose to sit on the sidelines as tax policies that are benefiting your business are possibly getting debated, or tax policies that would increase and harm the bottom threshold for your business would pass. And so if you sit on the sidelines, right, you don't have a voice, you don't have a seat at the table, and you can't influence it. And so that's why it's so important to be able to lean in, be proactive instead of reactive.
So when you say have a voice, I guess that's kind of the next thing is how do they go about getting their voice heard? I mean, a lot of times they're always being reactive after a policy comes down the pipe and is passed that may impact their business negatively. Then we tend to gripe and complain. But how can we get our voices heard before that happens?
So, Gerald, some things that proprietors should consider is actually meeting with your elected official. Do it in their office, or offer the elected official to visit your center. Have them see firsthand what's happening in your center. Meet your workforce, understand the operations, and being able for them to get to know you, get to know the bowling industry, get to know your center, is important for them to also translating that into policies that they're debating back at the state capitol or back at our nation's capital and understand how they impact you. You can also, too, attend town hall meetings. Visit also, too, with other organizations that are engaging with these elected officials and do it in a collaborative way. And you do it often. Don't just do it once, but make it an effort that you see them regularly. Share updates with them, because that's how we build strong relationships and how these elected officials get to know you.
So really I get out of that, it's all about really spending some time building these relationships with these politicians and local officials in your community and not just going to them with an ask. It's better to kind of have and develop that relationship before you have that time where you have to make the ask. So when you think about this and developing those relationships, as a proprietor or as an operator, this might not be our strong suit to go out and talk to these officials. So what would be some things to think about or talking points, or how do we prep to go talk with one of these officials?
You already mentioned it. Preparing just a few talking points will be really helpful. And the proprietor feeling really comfortable in what they're sharing, but also too in being able to advance the conversation forward to a next discussion. And so what do those talking points incorporate? One, it's about introducing yourself. It's about introducing your center. It's about introducing the industry, sharing about how involved you are in your community. Understanding too that by them understanding your business, again, they can translate that into policy. And so the other talking points should actually include information about how certain policies impact your business. So what does that look like? The talking points is know the issues, know how those issues impact or hurt your business. Do a little bit of research, being able to share examples, share case studies or any data points. Those can go a long way. And then also too is understanding of if you know that a policy or regulation is being opposed or supported by others that you don't align with, be prepared to rebut it a bit, right? Clarify some points, provide some facts behind of why you feel the way that you feel and why you're positioning yourself and asking for their help. And at the end of that too is more than anything else, offer to be a resource. Because that way too, if they have any questions or as things are coming across their desk, they can reach out to you and they know how to get a hold of you and how you can help them understand the issues better.
So a lot of great information there as far as steps to kind of building and developing that relationship. So when we're talking about policies, we've built this relationship, how do we start to find out about what policies are coming down that might be addressed at that state and local level that may have impact on the bowling center or our small business?
So Gerald, a great way is to be able to get it right into your inboxes. There's so many wonderful resources that proprietors can sign up for, whether it's going to your elected representative's webpage, going to some of the congressional committees' web pages, going to the state legislature's webpage, and sign up for updates. So it's coming right into your inbox. The other consideration too is sign up for updates, perhaps through the BPA too. We try to send as many updates as possible related to federal and state policy and how they impact proprietors. Talk with your colleagues, talk with other industry members as well, and share information together and understand how you guys can work together to be able to address opportunities or challenges to the industry. And in addition to monitoring, then choose to engage, right? Because when you talk to your elected officials, you can also learn more about different issues that are happening back in the state capitol that can impact you, or in our nation's capital that may impact you.
Awesome. So yeah, being able to get that stuff coming right to your inbox is huge. So that way you know what's going on when you start to engage with those local and state politicians. So shifting gears, talking about engagement, kind of how do we do it? Why does it really matter? And can we actually have an impact by engaging with our local officials?
Gerald, absolutely. It's critical to engage, and it does matter. Again, being proactive is more important than anything because you can actually help control and influence and shape, educate around the issues that impact you. And that's on the policy side. But also, too, Gerald, I would strongly encourage that political engagement matters just as much, too. So as these elected officials are running the campaigns, as you have candidates that are coming forward and being able to say what they stand for, proprietors should meet with those candidates, understand who they are, understand what policies they support or would oppose, and then also, too, taking that time to build relationships early on with that potential candidate or that potential elected official, rather. So they understand that if they were to get elected, how you as a constituent can be impacted by a lot of these issues. And you can start building relationships that they can then take forward as an elected official to best represent you as a bowling proprietor.
Awesome. Well, Sarah, this was a lot of great information. I know we've just kind of scratched the surface in this show. Hopefully we'll be able to have you back, talk about some more stuff when it relates to government affairs and the impact on the businesses in the bowling industry on the local and state level. So thank you so much for your time today. We'll let you get back to your day, but it sounds like we need to continuously develop and grow relationships on the local and state levels to make sure we're doing everything to avoid policies which will impact our business. So if you want to learn more and have questions about how to get off the sidelines and get into the game on the local and state levels, please reach out to Sarah and she'll point you in the right direction. Plus, if you have questions about getting involved and being involved on the government affairs via the state association or with the national here at BPAA, you can reach out to us anytime at education@bpaa.com. As we wrap up another edition of the Profit Break, remember, when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. On this episode as well as other previous episodes are available 24/7 for you and your team at bowlinguniversity.net. Plus, new episodes are available every month, so mark your calendar, watch your email, and join us on Facebook to hear about the latest episode. Until then, I'm Gerald Morrow. Do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. See you next time.